Everybody, it's Brandon here with Grease and Iron. I have my 2000 Chevy Silverado. Have a little slur when I say that. Chevy Silverado 1500 with the 5.3 liter Vortec. I've had coolant issues ever since I bought this truck. Never been really able to find them. Never really saw signs of coolant in the oil. But I'll put some pictures I took of my oil cap. I just cleaned all the water out of it and the filter net too. But I had a bunch of that white foamy stuff that can conclude that you have a head gasket leak. Only problem is I have not found any water in the engine oil. We'll check that again. But every time I pull the dipstick, clean oil, looks good. But I'm getting ready to dive into it now because I just did an oil change probably not even 300 miles ago. And my oil is already reading a little too full. So I have the 706. The 706 die heads, or the cast heads, the cast number on the heads, and they are known to crack if they are from a certain distributor. So we're going to get into there, see if they've cracked, and then if they haven't, we're probably just going to go all the way, replace the head gaskets. A new head gasket kit is a lot cheaper than a new engine, and all the antifreeze that I keep having to pump into this truck and all the distilled water. It is also cold in the morning, and I would really like my heat to work for more than 1 week at a time before I have to add more coolant or water to keep my heat running. So let's dive into this. The engine's not hot, but I did just start it to move it here next to my shed. And yeah, I would say that's some milky oil. I would say that if I do have a cracked head, I now have a head gasket issue. See how over full that is too? That's even worse than the last time I checked it. So yeah, I'm gonna get this problem sorted out because this is my daily commute vehicle, and I don't think my wife would be too happy with running me to work at the hour I go to work. And then having to deal with kids in a couple more hours. So first we're going to get started, and I will say, I am not a mechanic. This is all just for fun and entertainment, diving into a Vortec. We're going to remove the spark plugs, the wires, going to leave the plugs in, and then we're going to undo the coil wires, and then just take these bolts off and undo the whole coil rail. We're going to remove this, and the heater hose bracket should come off with the coil rail, and nothing else should really be in the way. Oh, that one's going to be fun to get to back there, but, and then I got this one here that I'm forgetting. So you can get in there. Let's try. That's menagerie mess. Well, that's not supposed to happen. The joys of working on things. I see it down there, so it didn't go in another dimension. Either that or they've already seen the videos to send those back. Yeah, alright. Man, gotta get a lot of brake clean. Make these things look good again. All the oil off of this. You know, gasket. Probably a smart way to go. I'll do this, might as well. That one's broken. That's awesome. Awesome, one more broken. Guess this has to come on too. Okay. Alright, let's not break this one. There it goes. Let's grab some side cutters for that. All right, let's take some stuff to the table. Oof. That's what I was scared of. There it goes. Hold on there, I guess. Already covered. Let's go. Houston, I think we found your coolant. Look at that cream. Reminds me of a vanilla pudding. Now I want vanilla pudding. Go get a snack pack, anyone? All right. Look at that. I would either say I have a head gasket leak or a broken head somewhere, but I'm not going to be able to find it. I say I better order the parts, get them here, start taking off the other side. Wow, that's disgusting. All right, since I'm taking the heads off now to replace head gaskets and check the heads, we've got to get cover off, we've got to get the air breather housing off. That's probably the wrong term. The air cleaner housing off to the throttle body, get the throttle body off, and that's always a fun job. I've done it once, chasing down a random misfire. I would be very, very impressed if this did not fix my random misfire. There it goes. This is going to be a very bolt heavy job with everything I already have laying out. So if I can put it back, I am just going to put it back. Dang it. Oh, time for door number 2, finally. I might say that that's even worse than the other one. Well guys, it's the next day. All I did after shutting the camera off is I removed the rocker arm assembly from this side, trying to figure out if these are the Castech heads that are the problem ones for cracking. And that mark right there confirms that it's a Castech head, and that was right beneath the rocker bar, I guess you would call it. I don't know the term, but the bar that all the rocker arms sit on. Let me show you those. So they are dirty and oily for the most part. They were not very clean, mostly oily. But then if I show you this side, they have some deposits on them. They're kind of gross, but look at those valve springs, and they kind of shine. The fact that this side shines, I mean, this side kind of shines too. I mean, I guess if there's water in both places, then they'd have been steam cleaned from the water. But it's just the fact that this side looks a little more cleaner. I'm gonna guess that it's the right hand side of my engine that might have that cracked head. That's gonna be the head that I investigate. I'm gonna get under the truck, undo my header bolts now, and then we're gonna be back on top of the engine. Get that lifter set pulled out like that one. Get all these wires removed, all the plugs removed. They were just recently replaced, so I'm not gonna replace them today. Get that dipstick bolt removed. And then these tubes here. Alright everybody, I went down there, I saved you guys the abuse of not showing you what I was doing down there. It took some breaker bars and some ingenuity, but 3 bolts on that side, 3 bolts on that side of the exhaust. They're out of there. Only casualty is one slightly rounded nut. Alright, so I'm going to work on getting these off. Then all the spark plug wires, all the spark plugs. I got a sensor on this side, and then I think I'm good. Start getting the heads off, or the headers, which does not seem fun based off of those 3 nuts on each make. Alright, now that we got all of our plugs out, we got to remove these intake gaskets. Okay, got one side done. Here is the other. I gotta clean it up a little more. A couple things I've done since my camera died. I put in new knock sensors, and I followed Matt's shop advice. Look him up on YouTube. He's got great stuff on these Chevys. I used some high temperature silicone to do most of the area around those so that water doesn't get in. I have the old ones. You'll see one of them is very corroded from water. Also back there, right there. Yeah, right there is the knock sensor. not knock sensor. That would be the camshaft position sensor. I replaced that just because that's such a pain to get to back there. So that is replaced as well. I also replaced my AC belt because it was worn out. Just again, when in Rome, wall this far into the engine. But this side is all patched up. Just kind of did it off camera while I kind of went about figuring it out. It's getting late, but hopefully you can watch me do this side. If it gets too late, we'll switch to tomorrow. Alright, got the surface cleaned up, cylinders cleaned up a little, made sure there's no debris. I do have the oil draining right now. I can then use some diesel, flush some debris out. So yeah, just flushing stuff out, trying to get all the sludge out that's going to be in the bottom of my oil pan. Just trying to keep this as clean of a job as I can as a driveway mechanic. Day 4, we're going to go into why I decided to replace the heads instead of going to the machine shops and getting these ones redone. And it all lies. There's nothing to show you on the heads. They're dirty. You can't see the crack. It's normally just where like the casting is broken, so that they're really small. If you look at these, I mean, they're dirty. I've been passing them around the last 2 days, trying to keep clean out here. There's almost nowhere I can where the coolant would have passed into the cylinder wall or here into the push rod camshaft area to introduce the coolant to the engine. Normally there's going to be like rust marks like this that are going to pass into it. Everything had these press lines. If it was on this side, it would have been leaking out of my head. That, and then this is the same type of head gasket I'm putting in there. And these trucks originally come with the multi-layered head gaskets. The multi-layered metal. And so the fact that these are in here, when research tells me they came originally with the multi-layered metal, means somebody's been in here, probably for the same reason I'm in there, and replaced the head gaskets unknowingly or not knowing that it was actually some cracked heads. Another reason is I said there's never been water in the oil that's in my oil pan. I've never pulled the stick, found water, drained the oil, found water, until pretty much last oil change. It was a little sludgy and a little weird, but I also have a container that sits outside. I don't keep it in the shed, so when I then looked at it, I didn't know if just some rainwater got in it because it didn't look very well mixed together. And then there's always been a little bit of moisture on my oil cap, but when I researched that, I was told that that can come from just moisture that gets into the engine through the combustion process. Same reason you might see like moisture coming out of a tailpipe. So that's why I put in new heads, is because no overheating. The fact that I couldn't find where my head gaskets would have been leaking. The fact that I feel like this has been a problem for a while with the replaced head gaskets, and the fact that I've always had a coolant loss after even fixing a coolant leak there in my water pump. So I decided to replace my heads. Gonna do some quick cleaning here. I do have the oil plug off. I am just simply trying to make sure that I leave as much debris out of this and drain as much as the sludge from before out as well. Yep. Also, if you are doing this, there's some little rings here in the bottom two corners that this head sits on, so you can set it down. One of those was left in one of my heads. Make sure you get those. On this side, on the back, on the passenger side back, there is a plug you got to put in, because on this side there is a spot to put a water temperature sensor, a coolant temperature sensor. So yeah. This thing is awesome. I'm in love. Alright, I got the valve cover bolts bolted down. They go to 86 inch-pounds, and then I did the coolant line. Those went to 106 inch-pounds. Now it's the exhaust bolts. Those go to 18.6 foot-pounds. Hey everybody, I kinda owe you all an explanation getting this far into the video. You're about to see the last time this truck ever runs for 16 seconds. I ran it for that video, captured it on my phone, turned the truck off. I guess it does run one more time, but it then acted like it hit a wall. I tried getting a camera, scoping down inside, seeing what was wrong with it. When I pulled the plugs, cylinder 7, the plug was pretty messed up. I realized something had gone wrong, and quick. It sounded really good in the phone video. I mean, from what you could hear over me leaving the exhaust system off of the headers, but I was baffled what went on. I tried to figure out the best I could. I needed another vehicle, so I had to work on that first. Once I decided that it was just too much to keep going, I then sold the truck. And the people I sold it to did update me on what happened. And one of the rocker arm bolts ended up breaking off and making its way into that cylinder 7, therefore causing the destruction and damage to the engine. If any of you could tell me how the heck a rocker arm bolt made it in there, I'd like to know, because they showed me a picture of the rocker arm bolt. I've reviewed my footage. I cannot find a rocker arm bolt already in there. But they said it broke off of one of the off of the rocker assembly and made its way down to that cylinder 7. Thank you guys for watching. Enjoy one of the last moments of the truck running. I would love to say that this was a success, but it ended up not being one, and I wasn't just going to let all the footage go to waste. So here's a video.